Number 1. This 1967 Ford Fairlane 500 honestly feels like one of those classic American cars that carries a lot more personality than people might expect at first glance. In my opinion, the Fairlane has always been one of Ford's most underrated models from the 60s because it perfectly blends muscle car attitude with simple old-school styling. And this particular example sounds especially interesting because it comes with both classic V8 power and a unique history connected to film and television production. The first thing that immediately catches my attention is the bright red exterior paired with the black interior. Personally, I think this combination fits the personality of a 60s Ford perfectly. Red gives the car that bold vintage muscle-era appearance, while the black interior keeps everything looking clean and timeless. Even today, this kind of color combination still looks aggressive and stylish without trying too hard. One thing I really like about this Fairlane is the fact that it has a 302 V8 under the hood. In my opinion, the Ford 302 is one of the best classic American small-block engines ever made because it combines reliability, simplicity, and strong performance. It's the kind of engine that gives classic cars a deep V8 personality while still being practical enough to maintain and enjoy regularly. What makes this car even more interesting to me is the fact that it was converted into a 3-speed manual transmission on the floor. Personally, I think manual transmissions completely change the driving experience of classic cars. Instead of simply cruising passively, the driver becomes much more connected to the car itself. You feel every shift, hear the engine revs more clearly, and experience the road in a much more mechanical and engaging way. And honestly, old-school manual transmissions have a completely different feeling compared to modern sports cars today. Modern vehicles are faster and smoother, but classic manual muscle cars feel raw and authentic. In my opinion, that's a huge part of what makes vintage American cars so enjoyable. Another thing that immediately stood out to me is the seller describing the car as solid and rust-free. Honestly, when it comes to classic cars from the 1960s, hearing the words rust-free is a huge positive. Rust can become one of the biggest and most expensive problems on older vehicles, so knowing this Fairlane has a solid body makes it much more appealing in my opinion. The interior condition also sounds impressive. The seller rates it a 9 out of 10, which honestly feels very good for a car that's nearly 60 years old. Personally, I think interiors matter a lot because they completely shape the driving experience. A clean and well-kept interior makes a classic car feel far more enjoyable and comfortable during cruises or long drives. The paint is rated 6 out of 10, with imperfections shown in the pictures, and honestly, I actually appreciate that kind of honesty from a seller. In my opinion, no classic car is truly perfect unless it's a full museum-level restoration. Small imperfections often add character and authenticity to older vehicles. Sometimes slightly imperfect paint even makes a classic car feel more real and approachable rather than overly polished. But honestly, the most interesting part of this listing to me is the history behind the car. According to the seller, it was purchased from J.C. Picture Cars in Georgia, where it was previously used in films and television shows. Personally, I think that gives this Fairlane an entirely different level of personality because it means the car likely appeared on screen at some point in its life. Cars connected to movies or television always feel more unique because they carry stories beyond normal ownership history. Even if nobody knows exactly which productions it appeared in, I still think it's cool imagining this Fairlane driving through scenes for old TV shows or movies. That kind of history gives the car a little extra personality that many classic vehicles simply don't have. The mileage shows just over 37,000 miles, although the seller lists the engine mileage as TMU, meaning true mileage unknown. Personally, I don't think mileage matters nearly as much on classic cars as overall condition and maintenance. A well-maintained older vehicle with strong mechanical condition can often feel much healthier than a neglected low-mileage example. The fact that the car is described as being in good condition with a clean title also adds confidence in my opinion. Classic cars can sometimes come with complicated paperwork or hidden issues, so hearing that the title is clean makes the purchase feel much safer and more straightforward. Now honestly, the price of $8,500 feels surprisingly reasonable considering everything this Fairlane offers. In today's classic car market, finding a rust-free 60s Ford with a V8 engine, manual transmission, clean interior, and interesting history at this price feels pretty uncommon. What I personally love most about cars like this is the feeling they create. Modern vehicles today are packed with technology, screens, sensors, and computers, but many of them feel cold and disconnected. Classic cars like this 1967 Ford Fairlane 500 feel alive. They vibrate, rumble, smell like gasoline, and create a completely different driving experience that feels emotional and memorable. Overall, in my opinion, this 1967 Ford Fairlane 500 feels like the kind of classic American car that offers a lot of personality for the money. It has vintage styling, V8 power, a manual transmission, rust-free condition, and even a connection to the film industry. And honestly, I think that combination makes this Fairlane feel far more special than just another old car sitting in a garage. Number 2. 1964 Ford Fairlane. This 1964 Ford Fairlane represents a carefully restored and thoughtfully upgraded example of Ford's early 60s intermediate platform, combining traditional V8 performance with modern drivability improvements that make the vehicle far more enjoyable for regular road use. Unlike many classic cars that remain mostly stock and limited to short weekend trips, this Fairlane appears to have been assembled with long-distance driving and reliability in mind while still preserving the timeless styling that defines the model. Power comes from a Ford 289 cubic inch V8 engine paired to a T5 5-speed manual transmission featuring overdrive gearing. This drivetrain setup significantly improves cruising comfort compared to the original transmission options available during the 1960s. The addition of overdrive allows the engine to operate at lower RPM levels during highway driving, reducing engine strain, fuel consumption, and interior noise while improving the overall driving experience on longer trips. The manual transmission also provides a more engaging and connected feel behind the wheel, giving the driver full control over gear selection and vehicle response. Supporting the drivetrain is a Ford 10-inch rear axle configured with 3.0 gears, a setup chosen to balance acceleration performance with efficient cruising characteristics. According to the seller, the vehicle averages approximately 20 miles per gallon while operating on standard 87-octane gasoline, which is notable for a classic V8-powered vehicle of this era. The combination of fuel efficiency, highway-friendly gearing, and overdrive transmission makes this Fairlane considerably more practical for regular use than many vintage muscle-era vehicles. The car reportedly underwent a complete body-off restoration around 2019. A restoration of this level generally involves separating the body from the chassis to fully address structural areas, mechanical systems, suspension components, and cosmetic refinishing. The seller states that the vehicle starts reliably, stops properly, and drives exceptionally well overall, suggesting that considerable attention was given not only to appearance but also to functional road performance. A new battery was installed recently, and the tires are described as remaining in good condition, further supporting the vehicle's readiness for continued driving without immediate major maintenance concerns. One particularly unique aspect of this Fairlane is the inclusion of two separate hoods, both finished in matching black paint. One hood maintains the factory-style appearance for a cleaner original presentation, while the second incorporates a fully functional hood scoop that provides a more aggressive muscle-oriented look while potentially improving engine bay airflow. This gives the next owner flexibility in how the car is presented depending on personal preference, whether favoring a stock appearance or a more performance-inspired style. The exterior is finished in black paint paired with a tan interior, creating a clean and understated appearance that complements the straightforward body lines of the 1964 Fairlane design. The black exterior gives the car a sharper and more muscular presence, while the tan interior adds contrast and preserves the vintage atmosphere expected from a mid-60s American vehicle. The overall appearance reflects the balance between restoration and usability, presenting as a strong driver quality classic rather than an overly delicate show-only car. Inside the cabin, the vehicle has been simplified for a cleaner driving-focused layout. The radio and heater systems have been removed, reducing unnecessary components and emphasizing the mechanical nature of the driving experience. However, the original heater assembly and steering wheel are included with the vehicle, allowing a future owner the option to reinstall certain factory-style equipment if a more original configuration is desired. The seller also includes extensive build photographs documenting the restoration process from start to finish, providing valuable history and transparency regarding the work completed during the rebuild. Mechanically, the seller reports that nearly all systems function properly with the exception of the fuel gauge, which is currently unreliable. Aside from this issue, the vehicle is described as operating as intended with dependable road manners and strong drivability characteristics. The Fairlane's combination of lightweight 60s-era construction, V8 power, upgraded transmission, and balanced gearing likely results in a comfortable and enjoyable cruising experience suitable for both local driving and extended highway travel. The 1964 Fairlane itself occupies an important place in Ford's performance history. Models from this period represented a transition between the earlier compact Ford designs and the emerging muscle car era that would dominate the second half of the decade. The fairlane platform became known for its relatively light weight, simple construction, and compatibility with a wide range of V8 engines, making it a favorite among enthusiasts interested in both street performance and restoration projects. Overall, this particular example appears to prioritize drivability, reliability, and usability while still maintaining the visual identity and mechanical simplicity that make classic 60s Fords so desirable among collectors and enthusiasts today. The combination of restored condition, upgraded transmission, documented build history, and practical road manners creates a vehicle that can be enjoyed regularly rather than simply displayed. This 1964 Ford Fairlane is located in Farmington, New York, and is currently being offered for sale at an asking price of $32,000. Number 3. 1966 Pontiac GTO Coupe 2D. This 1966 Pontiac GTO Coupe 2D represents a highly original and increasingly rare example of one of the most influential American muscle cars ever produced. Finished in its factory blue exterior with a black interior, this genuine 242 numbers matching GTO combines factory authenticity, unusual option combinations, and tasteful performance upgrades that enhance the driving experience while preserving the car's classic Pontiac identity. According to the seller, the vehicle spent its life in Florida and remains completely rust-free, making it especially desirable among collectors and enthusiasts searching for a clean, unmolested mid-1960s muscle car with solid original structure and long-term collector appeal. Power comes from the original 389 cubic inch Pontiac V8 engine, one of the most respected and recognizable performance engines of the muscle car era. The engine is currently fitted with a legendary tri-power setup utilizing 3 two-barrel carburetors, delivering stronger throttle response, increased airflow, and the unmistakable appearance associated with high-performance Pontiac models of the 1960s. The tri-power system not only improves performance characteristics but also gives the engine bay a much more aggressive and period-correct muscle car appearance that immediately attracts attention at shows and cruise nights. The seller notes that the tri-power package was installed more recently, but importantly, all of the original factory equipment is included with the vehicle, allowing the next owner to preserve the upgraded setup or return the car to full factory specification if originality becomes the priority. The drivetrain configuration is one of the details that truly separates this GTO from many others currently on the market. Power is sent through a factory 2-speed automatic transmission operated through a column-mounted shifter rather than the more common floor-mounted console arrangement typically seen in GTO models equipped with bucket seats. According to the seller, this combination of factory bucket seats paired with a column-shift automatic transmission and no center console is extremely uncommon and contributes to the vehicle's reputation as a unicorn among Pontiac enthusiasts. Cars ordered in this specific configuration were produced in relatively small numbers, and finding an original example that has not been heavily modified over the years has become increasingly difficult. Factory air conditioning further enhances the usability and comfort of the vehicle while maintaining its vintage grand touring personality. During the mid-1960s, factory AC was still considered a premium feature, especially on performance-oriented muscle cars, making this GTO a more versatile and enjoyable cruiser in warmer climates. Several modern upgrades have also been incorporated into the car to improve overall drivability and road performance without compromising the vehicle's classic character. 4-wheel disc brakes replace the original factory drum brake setup, providing significantly improved braking performance, stronger stopping power, and increased driver confidence compared to original systems from the era. Ladder bars and rear air shocks have also been added to improve traction and rear suspension stability, especially during acceleration and spirited driving situations. The exterior presentation maintains the aggressive styling expected from a classic GTO while incorporating subtle custom touches that remain appropriate for the car's period-correct appearance. The vehicle was previously refinished in its original factory blue color and accented with a painted black offset stripe rather than a vinyl decal, creating a cleaner and more permanent finish that complements the body lines without appearing excessive or overly modernized. The car currently rides on classic Craigar wheels wrapped in Mickey Thompson tires, giving the vehicle a stronger muscle car stance while maintaining the traditional street machine appearance popular during the late 1960s and early 1970s. The seller also includes the original Pontiac wheels with the sale and offers the option to reinstall them for buyers seeking a more factory-original presentation. Inside the cabin, the vehicle continues to reflect a balance between preservation and tasteful restoration work. Newly upholstered bucket seats and a replacement headliner refresh the interior appearance while maintaining the authentic black Pontiac interior design that complements the blue exterior extremely well. The overall cabin presentation remains clean, simple, and period-correct without unnecessary modern modifications that could detract from the vehicle's vintage atmosphere. According to the seller, the car runs and drives very well and remains largely untouched compared to many heavily modified GTO builds currently seen in the market today. The odometer currently shows approximately 1,234 miles, and the vehicle is fully paid off. Located in Auburn, Pennsylvania, this 1966 Pontiac GTO Coupe 2D is offered at an asking price of $56,500 with no trades considered. Combining numbers-matching authenticity, rust-free Florida origins, rare factory options, tri-power performance, upgraded braking components, and carefully preserved originality, this GTO represents a unique opportunity to own a highly collectible piece of American muscle car history that successfully balances rarity, drivability, and timeless Pontiac performance heritage. Number 4. A beautifully restored 1966 Ford Mustang Coupe that captures the true spirit of classic American motoring while blending vintage style with subtle modern improvements. This Mustang represents the kind of car that continues to remain popular decade after decade because of its unmistakable design, sporty proportions, and timeless road presence. Finished in black with a bold red interior, the car has the kind of appearance that immediately stands out whether parked at a local cruise night or driving through town on a weekend evening. Underneath its classic exterior, this Mustang has been fully refurbished and carefully maintained over the years. According to the seller, the vehicle has spent its entire life garage kept, which likely helped preserve both the body and overall condition much better than many other cars from the same era. The car reportedly shows around 30,000 miles and has only had 2 owners, suggesting a history of long-term care rather than constant ownership changes or neglect. One of the most interesting upgrades is the LED dashboard conversion, which adds a more modern feel to the interior while still respecting the original style of the car. The upgraded lighting improves visibility and gives the cabin a cleaner, sharper appearance without removing the vintage personality that makes a first-generation Mustang so special. Instead of heavily modifying the car beyond recognition, the updates appear focused on improving usability while preserving the authentic driving experience. The manual transmission adds another layer of excitement and driver involvement. Classic Mustangs from the 1960s are already known for their lightweight feel and balanced handling, and having a manual gearbox makes the car feel even more connected and enjoyable on the road. Every shift adds to the experience, turning even simple drives into something much more memorable compared to modern automatic vehicles. The combination of the compact body design, classic steering feel, and manual transmission creates a driving experience that feels raw, mechanical, and genuinely engaging. The black exterior gives the car a much more aggressive and refined personality compared to brighter factory colors often seen on classic Mustangs. Paired with the red interior, the overall look feels both elegant and sporty at the same time. The contrast between the dark paint and rich interior color helps highlight the vintage styling details throughout the car, from the chrome trim to the iconic fastback-inspired bodylines that made these early Mustangs famous worldwide. Inside, the red interior creates a classic 1960s atmosphere that perfectly complements the exterior styling. The cabin likely still carries the simple driver-focused layout that helped make these cars so approachable and enjoyable for enthusiasts of all ages. While modern vehicles often rely heavily on touchscreens and electronic systems, this Mustang preserves the straightforward and mechanical feel that many collectors continue to appreciate today. The fully refurbished condition also suggests that the vehicle has received significant attention mechanically and cosmetically, making it more than just a basic survivor car. Rather than feeling worn out or unfinished, this Mustang appears ready to be enjoyed immediately for weekend drives, local car events, or simply as part of a personal collection. The balance between originality and tasteful upgrades gives the car a more refined personality without sacrificing its vintage charm. Located in Hewitt, New Jersey, and offered at $32,000, this 1966 Ford Mustang Coupe represents a chance to own one of the most recognizable American classics ever built in a condition that still feels highly usable and enjoyable today. The combination of careful ownership history, garage-kept preservation, manual transmission driving experience, and timeless styling makes this Mustang feel like far more than just an old car. It represents a piece of American automotive culture that continues to remain relevant and admired nearly 60 years after it first appeared on the road. Number 5. 1966 Pontiac Lemans Convertible. This 1966 Pontiac Lemans Convertible represents a classic example of mid-1960s American automotive styling combined with upgraded V8 performance and the unmistakable appeal of open-top cruising. Vehicles from this era were designed during one of the most exciting periods in American car culture, when manufacturers focused heavily on powerful engines, sporty styling, and comfortable long-distance driving characteristics. The Lemans quickly became one of Pontiac's most recognizable intermediate models, offering a balance between muscle car attitude and everyday usability. This particular example appears to capture that personality very well while also benefiting from several desirable upgrades and recent improvements. Under the hood, the car is powered by a 400 cubic inch Pontiac V8 engine paired with an automatic transmission. The upgraded engine setup gives the Lemans a much stronger performance presence compared to its original factory drivetrain, while still maintaining smooth and comfortable drivability for regular street use. Pontiac's 400 V8 engines are highly respected among classic car enthusiasts because of their excellent torque delivery, durable construction, and deep traditional muscle car sound. Combined with the automatic transmission, the drivetrain configuration allows the car to perform comfortably during highway cruising while still delivering the strong acceleration and classic V8 character expected from a vintage Pontiac platform. The exterior is finished in red, a color that complements the aggressive body lines and chrome styling details extremely well. The design of the 1966 Lemans features long flowing fenders, a wide stance, and clean proportions that continue to look attractive decades later. As a convertible model, the car offers a much more engaging driving experience compared to a standard hardtop. Open-air cruising remains one of the biggest attractions of classic convertibles, especially during warm weather drives or local car gatherings where vehicles like this naturally draw attention. The black interior pairs nicely with the red exterior, creating a timeless color combination often associated with classic American performance cars from the 1960s. Inside the cabin, the Lemans features bucket seats along with a floor-mounted shifter, giving the interior a more performance-oriented atmosphere compared to traditional bench seat configurations commonly found in many cars from the same period. The layout creates a more driver-focused environment while still preserving the vintage feel and originality of the car. The interior condition is described as being good overall for the age of the vehicle, with only minor cosmetic where consistent with normal use. Rather than appearing heavily modified or over-restored, the cabin seems to maintain much of its original personality while still functioning as a comfortable and usable classic cruiser. Several important upgrades have also been completed on the convertible top system. The hydraulic pump has been replaced along with brand new pistons for the power-operated top assembly. These repairs significantly improve the reliability and operation of the convertible mechanism, which can often become expensive and difficult to repair on older vehicles. Having those components already serviced adds both value and convenience for the next owner while helping preserve the usability of the car as a true convertible driver rather than simply a weekend showpiece. In addition to the vehicle itself, the sale also includes several extra parts including brand new front and rear bumpers as well as a brand new GTO hood. These additional components provide excellent value and also give the next owner flexibility if they choose to further personalize the appearance of the vehicle. The inclusion of a GTO-style hood adds a more aggressive muscle car appearance while still remaining period correct within the Pontiac family. Since original trim and body components for mid-1960s Pontiacs are becoming increasingly difficult and expensive to locate, having these extra parts included with the sale is a major advantage. Structurally, the underside of the car is described as clean, which is extremely important for a vintage convertible from this era. Convertibles often experience additional chassis stress over time compared to hardtop models, so having a solid underbody and clean structural condition greatly improves the overall desirability of the vehicle. The body itself appears well maintained and presents as a strong driver quality classic rather than an unfinished restoration project. That makes the car appealing for enthusiasts who want something they can immediately enjoy on the road without needing major reconstruction work. The overall presentation of the Lemans reflects a car that has been preserved and maintained while still remaining approachable and usable. Rather than being an overly customized build or a fragile concours restoration, this Pontiac seems to offer a balanced combination of originality, upgraded performance, and practical drivability. Cars like this continue to attract enthusiasts because they deliver a driving experience modern vehicles simply cannot replicate. The sound of a naturally aspirated Pontiac V8, the feel of a classic rear-wheel drive convertible, and the styling of a 1960s American cruiser all combine to create a unique ownership experience rooted in classic automotive culture. With approximately 80,000 miles shown on the odometer and a clean title reported, this 1966 Pontiac Lemans convertible is located in Cleveland, Ohio, and is being offered for $28,750. The combination of upgraded 400 V8 power, automatic transmission, bucket seat interior, convertible styling, recent hydraulic top repairs, and included GTO-inspired components makes this vehicle a highly appealing option for anyone searching for a classic American convertible with both muscle car personality and comfortable road-going manners. Number 6. This 1969 Pontiac Firebird convertible honestly feels like the perfect combination of classic American muscle and laid-back cruising style. In my opinion, first-generation Firebirds have always had a really unique personality because they blend aggressive performance with elegant late-60s styling. And when you add the convertible body style, it completely transforms the car into something that feels even more exciting and enjoyable to drive. The first thing that immediately catches my attention is the blue exterior paired with the white interior. Personally, I think this is one of the best color combinations you can have on a classic convertible. The blue paint gives the car a clean vintage appearance, while the white interior adds that luxury cruiser feel that fits perfectly with the open-top design. Even today, this combination still looks classy and timeless. What I really love about convertibles from this era is the overall atmosphere they create. Cars like this weren't designed only for speed, they were built to make driving feel fun and memorable. I can easily picture this Firebird cruising down the highway on a warm summer evening with the top down, the V8 rumbling softly in the background while people turn their heads to watch it pass by. Under the hood sits a factory Pontiac 400 V8, and honestly, in my opinion, that's one of the strongest parts of this entire listing. The Pontiac 400 has a legendary reputation among classic muscle car enthusiasts because of its torque, sound, and smooth power delivery. Even though the seller mentions the engine is not numbers matching, it's still the correct Pontiac 400 V8, which I personally think is much better than seeing a completely unrelated engine swap. And honestly, classic Pontiac V8 engines have their own unique personality compared to other American muscle cars from the same era. They sound different, feel different, and carry a certain character that true Pontiac fans immediately recognize. The seller also says the car runs and drives great and sounds awesome, and honestly, I can completely imagine that. In my opinion, one of the best parts about owning an old-school muscle car is the sound. Modern vehicles may be quicker and more advanced, but many of them feel too quiet and disconnected. Classic V8 cars like this Firebird create a completely different experience. The engine noise, vibrations, and raw mechanical feeling make every drive feel more emotional and alive. Another thing that really stands out to me is the story behind the car sitting in storage for around 10 years before being brought back out, cleaned up, detailed, and gone through mechanically. Personally, I think there's something really cool about reviving a classic car that spent years hidden away. It almost feels like bringing a piece of automotive history back to life again. The seller describes the Firebird as a very solid North Carolina car with no rust, and honestly, that's one of the best things you can hear when shopping for a classic vehicle from the 60s. Rust is one of the biggest problems with older muscle cars, especially convertibles, so hearing this car is rust-free immediately makes it far more attractive in my opinion. What I also appreciate is the honesty in the listing. The seller openly says it's not a perfect show car, but instead describes it as a really nice driver you can enjoy immediately while slowly improving over time if desired. Personally, I actually prefer cars like that because they feel more realistic and usable. Some fully restored show cars become so expensive and perfect that owners are afraid to drive them. But this Firebird sounds like the kind of classic car you can actually enjoy regularly without constantly worrying about every little detail. The automatic transmission also fits the personality of the car really well in my opinion. A convertible cruiser like this feels best when driven comfortably and smoothly rather than aggressively raced all the time. The automatic setup likely makes the driving experience much more relaxed and enjoyable during long drives or weekend cruises. The mileage shows around 105,000 miles, but honestly, I don't think mileage matters as much on classic cars as overall condition and maintenance. A well-maintained and rust-free classic car can often feel much healthier than a neglected low-mileage example. One thing I personally love about the 1969 Firebird design is how balanced it looks. Some muscle cars from the late 60s were extremely aggressive, while others leaned more toward luxury styling. But the Firebird seems to sit perfectly in the middle. It has sporty body lines, clean proportions, and enough muscle car attitude to make it exciting without looking oversized or excessive. The seller also mentions only being interested in trades for vehicles like a C10, K10, or early 70s Camaro, which honestly tells me they probably understand and appreciate classic American vehicles. In my opinion, that usually gives a little more confidence because it sounds like the car is being sold by someone genuinely involved in the classic car hobby rather than simply trying to flip it quickly. Now, the asking price is $33,500, and honestly, considering the factory 400 V8, rust-free condition, convertible body style, and overall presentation, I can understand why the seller values it there. First-generation Firebird convertibles continue to become more desirable every year, especially solid driver quality examples that are ready to enjoy immediately. What I personally love most about cars like this is the feeling they create. Modern cars today are filled with technology, giant screens, sensors, and electronic systems, but classic convertibles like this Firebird feel completely different. They have soul, personality, sound, and presence that modern vehicles often struggle to replicate. Overall, in my opinion, this 1969 Pontiac Firebird convertible feels like the kind of classic American muscle car that turns every drive into an experience. From the blue paint and white interior to the legendary Pontiac 400 V8 and open-top cruising atmosphere, this car represents everything people love about late 60s American automotive culture. And honestly, I think that's exactly what makes this Firebird so special today. Number 7. 1975 Chevrolet Impala Sedan 4D. This 1975 Chevrolet Impala is a remarkably preserved full-size American sedan that retains much of its original factory character while benefiting from careful long-term ownership and documented history. Showing just over 41,000 original miles, this Impala represents a rare opportunity to acquire a largely untouched example from an era when full-size American cars prioritized comfort, durability, and smooth highway cruising. The vehicle is described as a rust-free survivor with a clean Illinois title and reportedly remains in highly original condition throughout. Power comes from the factory-installed 350 cubic inch Chevrolet V8 engine paired to an automatic transmission, a drivetrain combination widely respected for reliability, simplicity, and effortless cruising performance. The original small-block V8 provides smooth power delivery and dependable operation while maintaining the traditional driving feel associated with mid-1970s General Motors full-size vehicles. The car's suspension and chassis configuration were designed primarily for comfort-oriented driving, making the Impala especially well-suited for highway travel and relaxed weekend cruising. According to the seller, the vehicle has had only a small number of long-term owners and remains exceptionally well-preserved for its age. The body is described as clean and rust-free, an increasingly uncommon characteristic for large American sedans from this period. Additional protection was reportedly added through professional undercoating, helping preserve the vehicle's structural integrity over time and contributing to the overall condition seen today. One notable feature is the upgraded 1975 factory-style column steering wheel, which enhances the interior presentation while still maintaining an authentic period-correct appearance. The vehicle also includes the original purchase receipt dating back to 1975, adding historical value and supporting the documented ownership history associated with the car. Documentation like this is often highly desirable among collectors because it helps establish authenticity and long-term provenance. The interior configuration remains mostly original, preserving the spacious cabin layout and classic design language typical of Chevrolet's full-size lineup during the mid-1970s. Modifications are limited primarily to the addition of a center console and rear deck setup, while the rest of the vehicle reportedly retains much of its factory presentation. The overall appearance reflects the style of the era, emphasizing comfort, simplicity, and practicality over aggressive performance styling. Condition notes provided by the seller mention that the front and rear bumper fillers will require replacement. This is a relatively common cosmetic issue on many General Motors vehicles from the 1970s, as the original filler materials often deteriorate with age. Aside from this detail, the vehicle is described as having no significant damage or major mechanical concerns. The exterior is finished in tan paint, giving the car a distinctly period-correct appearance that complements the large body proportions and understated styling of the Impala platform. Unlike many heavily modified classics, this example appears to focus on originality and preservation rather than customization, making it especially appealing for collectors seeking a genuine representation of a mid-70s Chevrolet sedan. The 1975 Impala occupied an important place in Chevrolet's lineup as one of the company's flagship full-size passenger cars. Vehicles from this generation were engineered during a period when comfort and road presence remained major priorities for American automakers. Wide bench seating, soft suspension tuning, large body dimensions, and smooth V8 power delivery all contributed to the traditional full-size driving experience that defined the era. Overall, this Impala appears to offer a combination of originality, documentation, low mileage, and preserved condition that has become increasingly difficult to find among surviving examples from the mid-1970s. The vehicle's largely original drivetrain, documented ownership history, and clean rust-free body make it a strong candidate for collectors, enthusiasts, or anyone interested in owning an authentic example of classic American full-size motoring. This 1975 Chevrolet Impala sedan is located in Plainfield, Illinois, and is currently being offered for sale at an asking price of $17,000. Number 8. 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle. This 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle represents a solid example of a classic American muscle car that combines vintage styling, modern audio upgrades, and dependable V8 performance in a package that remains highly appealing to enthusiasts looking for a street-driven classic. Finished in a gray exterior paired with a matching gray interior, the car maintains the aggressive body lines and muscular proportions that helped make the 1969 Chevelle one of the most recognizable Chevrolet models of the muscle car era. The long hood, wide stance, and clean profile continue to give the vehicle a commanding road presence even decades after its original release. According to the seller, the car carries a clean title and currently runs and drives, making it an immediately usable classic rather than a full restoration project. Under the hood sits a 350 small block Chevrolet V8 engine paired with a turbo 400 automatic transmission. This drivetrain combination has long been respected among muscle car enthusiasts for its balance of reliability, simplicity, and strong street performance. The 350 small block provides dependable V8 power with good aftermarket support and relatively straightforward maintenance, while the TH400 automatic transmission is widely recognized as one of General Motors' strongest and most durable transmissions ever produced. Together, the setup delivers a traditional muscle car driving experience with smooth automatic shifting and solid low-end torque suitable for cruising, local shows, and regular street use. The vehicle has also received several modern upgrades designed to improve comfort, entertainment, and overall road presence without completely removing the car's vintage identity. One of the most noticeable additions is the large touchscreen stereo system currently installed in the dashboard. The upgraded multimedia setup modernizes the cabin experience by adding contemporary audio functionality while still allowing the car to retain its classic interior styling. In addition, the seller states that the vehicle includes an upgraded sound system, providing improved audio quality compared to factory original equipment from the late 1960s. Modern lighting upgrades have also been added through dapper lighting headlights, helping improve nighttime visibility while subtly modernizing the front-end appearance. While the vehicle presents well overall, the seller openly acknowledges several areas that still require attention. The paint is described as imperfect and includes a rust spot located near the driver's side rear wheel well. The car also reportedly needs a tune-up along with replacement rear tires. Rather than hiding these imperfections, the seller appears transparent about the vehicle's current condition, which helps establish realistic expectations for potential buyers. These remaining cosmetic and maintenance items may provide an opportunity for the next owner to personalize or further improve the car while still starting with a functional and drivable foundation. According to the listing, the odometer currently shows approximately 90,000 miles, and the vehicle has no major mechanical issues or significant damage reported. The seller notes that the car is being offered as a serious sale and specifically states that unrealistic offers will not receive responses. The vehicle is currently located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and is offered at an asking price of $25,000 or best offer. Overall, this 1969 Chevrolet Chevelle offers a balanced combination of classic muscle car styling, dependable Chevrolet V8 performance, upgraded technology, and realistic usability. While not presented as a fully restored show car, the vehicle appears to retain strong potential as a reliable street-driven classic that can still be improved and personalized over time. With its iconic late 1960s Chevelle design, upgraded sound system, TH400 drivetrain, and honest overall presentation, this car represents an appealing opportunity for enthusiasts seeking a classic American muscle car that can be enjoyed immediately while still leaving room for future refinement and customization. Number 9. A classic 1966 Chrysler 300 hardtop that represents the bold styling, smooth V8 power, and luxury cruising comfort that made full-size Mopar cars so memorable during the 1960s. This Chrysler combines vintage American road presence with a long list of maintenance upgrades, making it feel like a solid and usable classic rather than just an old project sitting in storage. Finished in blue with an off-white interior, the car carries a very authentic period-correct appearance that immediately reflects the style and personality of mid-1960s American automotive design. Under the hood sits a strong-running 383 cubic inch V8 engine equipped with its original 4-barrel carburetor. The 383 has always been respected among Mopar enthusiasts for delivering reliable torque, smooth cruising ability, and the kind of deep exhaust sound that defines classic American V8 performance. Paired with an automatic transmission, this Chrysler was clearly designed more for effortless highway driving and comfortable cruising rather than aggressive muscle car performance. The seller mentions that the car runs and drives well, which is especially important for a vehicle of this age because many classic cars in this price range often require extensive mechanical work before they can be enjoyed regularly. One of the most impressive aspects of this Chrysler 300 is the amount of recent maintenance already completed over the last several years. The vehicle has received a long list of new parts including a starter motor, brake hoses, front drum brakes, power brake booster, master cylinder, front tie rods, ball joints, steering box, steering pump, radiator, hoses, thermostat, fuel pump, fuel tank, fuel sender, muffler, rebuilt carburetor, and tires. Altogether, these repairs suggest the car has been continuously maintained rather than neglected. The upgrades also improve reliability, drivability, and overall confidence for someone wanting a vintage car that can actually be driven and enjoyed on modern roads. The seller honestly mentions a few remaining issues, including non-functioning passenger side power windows and slightly rough braking that may require resurfacing one or two brake drums. However, nearly everything else on the vehicle reportedly works properly, including the horn, lights, and windshield wipers. The transparency about these small imperfections actually makes the listing feel more trustworthy because it provides a realistic picture of the car rather than pretending it is perfect. Visually, the hardtop body design gives this Chrysler a very elegant and unmistakably American appearance. The long body lines, chrome trim, and pillarless roof styling create the type of road presence that large luxury cars from the 1960s were famous for. The blue exterior paired with the off-white interior creates a clean and classy color combination that fits the personality of the Chrysler 300 perfectly. Inside, the cabin likely still delivers the spacious and comfortable atmosphere these cars were originally designed around, making it ideal for relaxed cruising and weekend drives. With approximately 89,000 miles shown and a clean title, this Chrysler appears to offer a lot of classic Mopar character at a relatively affordable price. The seller mentions only selling the car because garage space is needed, which often suggests the vehicle has remained enjoyable and dependable during ownership rather than being sold because of major problems. Located in Yorkville, Illinois, and priced at $8,000, this 1966 Chrysler 300 hardtop feels like an honest and usable classic American cruiser with plenty of vintage charm still intact. The combination of the strong 383 V8 engine, recent mechanical upgrades, classic hardtop styling, and comfortable driving experience makes this car appealing for someone looking to enjoy classic car ownership without stepping into a much higher price range. Number 10. 1968 Chevrolet Impala Custom. This 1968 Chevrolet Impala Custom represents one of the most recognizable full-size American cruisers of the late 1960s, combining classic Chevrolet styling, comfortable road manners, and several desirable factory features that continue to make these cars popular among collectors and enthusiasts today. The 1968 model year introduced a redesigned body with smoother lines and a more refined appearance compared to earlier Impalas, giving the car a strong road presence while still maintaining the long, low proportions that defined full-size American vehicles during this era. This particular example appears to have been maintained and upgraded carefully, making it a very usable driver quality classic with both style and practicality. Finished in red with a black interior, the car carries a timeless muscle-era color combination that works extremely well with the large body design and chrome trim found on the 1968 Impala platform. The exterior styling features Chevrolet's signature late 1960s design language with flowing body lines, wide proportions, and a distinctive roofline that immediately separates it from modern vehicles on the road today. According to the seller, this was the first year for this particular style top on the Impala, making the car even more interesting from both a styling and collector standpoint. The design gives the vehicle a sleek and elegant profile while still maintaining the bold appearance expected from a full-size Chevrolet of this period. Under the hood, the specific engine is not listed, but the car is equipped with an automatic transmission designed to provide smooth and comfortable cruising characteristics. Full-size Impalas from this generation were known for delivering relaxed highway performance and spacious interiors, making them ideal for long-distance driving and weekend cruising alike. The drivetrain setup in this vehicle appears focused on comfort and reliability rather than extreme performance, which fits the personality of the car very well. One of the standout features of this Impala is the factory air conditioning system, which has already been upgraded to modern R134A refrigerant and is reported to work very well. This is an especially valuable feature because factory air conditioning was considered a premium option during the late 1960s, and having the system modernized makes the car significantly more enjoyable to drive in warmer weather. The upgraded system allows the vehicle to retain its original factory comfort equipment while improving serviceability and practicality for modern use. Another desirable factory feature included with this car is the tilt steering wheel. During this era, tilt steering was still considered an upscale option on many American vehicles, and it adds both comfort and convenience to the driving experience. Small factory options like this help give the car a more premium feel while also reflecting the luxury-oriented character Chevrolet aimed for with higher trim Impala models during the late 1960s. The seller also mentions that many repairs and upgrades have already been completed, suggesting the car has been actively maintained rather than left sitting and used. Older full-size cars often require regular upkeep to remain dependable, so having prior maintenance and improvements already addressed can make a major difference for future ownership. The vehicle is described as road-ready, indicating it can likely be driven and enjoyed immediately without requiring major restoration work or extensive mechanical attention. Inside the cabin, the black interior likely complements the red exterior nicely while maintaining the classic atmosphere expected from a late 1960s Chevrolet. Full-size Impalas were designed with comfort in mind, offering spacious seating, wide dashboards, and smooth ride quality intended for relaxed cruising. The overall driving experience in a car like this is very different from modern vehicles, focusing more on comfort, visibility, and effortless highway driving rather than aggressive handling or modern electronics. This particular Impala also stands out because it appears to strike a balance between originality and usability. Rather than being an over-restored showpiece or a heavily modified custom build, the car seems to retain much of its classic personality while benefiting from practical upgrades that improve drivability and comfort. Vehicles like this are often more enjoyable for enthusiasts who actually want to spend time driving their classics rather than keeping them hidden away in storage. With approximately 75,346 miles shown on the odometer and the vehicle fully paid off, this 1968 Chevrolet Impala Custom is located in Alexandria, Indiana, and is currently offered for $22,500. The combination of factory air conditioning, tilt steering wheel, upgraded climate system, classic full-size Chevrolet styling, and overall road-ready condition makes this Impala a very appealing option for anyone searching for a comfortable and highly recognizable American cruiser from the late 1960s. Number 11. This 1966 Ford Falcon Futura Sport Coupe honestly feels like one of those hidden classic American project cars that could become something really special with the right owner. In my opinion, the Falcon often gets overlooked because people usually focus on Mustangs or other famous muscle cars from the 60s. But the truth is the Falcon played a huge role in Ford's performance history. And this particular car sounds like it already has the foundation for a very fun street machine. The first thing that caught my attention is the fact that this is a Falcon Futura Sport Coupe. Personally, I think these cars have a really cool old-school appearance because they still carry the compact styling of early 60s Ford designs while also having enough room for serious V8 performance upgrades. They look simple and clean, but underneath, they can become surprisingly powerful. The silver exterior paired with the black interior gives the car a classic and aggressive look in my opinion. Silver may seem subtle compared to bright muscle car colors, but honestly, I think it works really well on older Ford coupes because it highlights the body lines and gives the car a more serious performance feel. One thing that immediately makes this Falcon interesting to me is the engine setup. According to the seller, the original 289 was stroked into a 302, and honestly, that already tells me this car was built by someone who wanted more than just a basic cruiser. Ford's small-block V8 engines are legendary because of their reliability, strong performance, and huge aftermarket support. The seller also mentions Stage 2 cams, stiffer valve springs, an Edelbrock intake manifold, and an ASV2 carburetor. Personally, I think those upgrades completely change the personality of the car. This doesn't sound like a quiet stock Falcon anymore. It sounds like a lightweight street car with a serious attitude. And honestly, one of the best things about older compact Ford cars is how fun they can feel with V8 power. Compared to larger muscle cars, Falcons are smaller and lighter, which often makes them feel more responsive and aggressive on the road. I can easily imagine this car sounding absolutely nasty at idle with the cam setup giving it that rough old-school muscle car sound. Another thing that really stands out to me is the fact that both the engine and transmission were rebuilt and reportedly have less than 3,000 miles on them. In my opinion, that's one of the strongest parts of this listing because rebuilding classic drivetrains properly can become extremely expensive. Knowing that major mechanical work was already completed makes this Falcon feel like a much more realistic and exciting project. The seller says the car runs great, and honestly, that's always a huge advantage when dealing with older project cars. Some classic vehicles sit for years without running, turning into overwhelming restoration projects. But this Falcon sounds like something you could actually work on gradually while still enjoying the driving experience. I also really appreciate the honesty in the listing when the seller says it's still a project and that some things are missing. Personally, I prefer sellers who are upfront about a car's condition instead of pretending everything is perfect. Classic cars almost always need something, especially unfinished builds like this. The seller mentions the body is solid with no rust, and honestly, that might be one of the most important details in the entire listing. Rust is one of the biggest problems on older vehicles because body and structural repairs can become extremely expensive and time-consuming. In my opinion, finding a solid rust-free body is a huge advantage because mechanical upgrades are usually much easier to handle than major body restoration work. The interior still needs attention, but personally, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I think unfinished interiors sometimes give new owners the freedom to customize the car exactly the way they want. Some people may want a clean factory-style restoration, while others might prefer a more aggressive street machine look with aftermarket seats and gauges. One detail that I think adds personality to this Falcon is the fact that the seller has owned it for a long time and is only selling it to help pay for house repairs. Honestly, that gives the car a more personal feeling. It sounds less like a quick flip and more like a project someone genuinely cared about for years. The mileage listed is 12,345 miles, though with rebuilt components and the age of the car, exact mileage probably matters less than overall condition and mechanical quality. In my opinion, classic cars are much more about the story, build quality, and driving experience than the numbers on the odometer. And honestly, what I love most about project cars like this is the potential they offer. Modern vehicles today are often limited by complicated electronics and factory systems, but older cars like this Falcon give owners complete freedom to build something unique. This could become a clean vintage cruiser, an aggressive street machine, or even a lightweight drag-style car depending on the owner's vision. The price of $6,000 honestly feels pretty reasonable to me considering the rebuilt drivetrain, upgraded engine setup, rust-free body, and overall potential of the car. In today's market, finding a running V8 classic Ford project with solid bones at this price is becoming harder every year. Overall, in my opinion, this 1966 Ford Falcon Futura Sport Coupe feels like the kind of classic project car that could turn into something incredibly fun and rewarding. It already has the important performance upgrades, a rebuilt drivetrain, and a solid rust-free body. Now it just needs someone with vision and passion to finish bringing it fully back to life. And honestly, I think that's exactly what makes this Falcon so interesting. Number 12. 1962 Ford Thunderbird. This 1962 Ford Thunderbird represents a well-equipped and stylish example from the third generation of Ford's luxury personal coupe lineup, combining distinctive early 60s design with several desirable factory and aftermarket upgrades intended to improve both comfort and drivability. Finished in black with a matching black vinyl top and complemented by a beige interior, the car presents a classic luxury-oriented appearance that reflects the upscale styling philosophy Ford used during the early Thunderbird years. Powertrain details indicate that both the engine and transmission were rebuilt relatively recently, with fewer than 13,000 miles reportedly accumulated since the work was completed. This suggests that the vehicle has seen moderate use following restoration and mechanical refurbishment, while still retaining relatively low mileage on the rebuilt drivetrain components. The vehicle is also equipped with a tri-power carburetor setup, a highly recognizable performance-oriented induction system utilizing 3 carburetors to improve airflow and engine responsiveness. The addition of the tri-power configuration gives the Thunderbird a stronger performance presence while maintaining the vintage mechanical character associated with early 60s American V8 cars. The transmission and engine combination are supported by a chassis setup designed primarily for smooth cruising and comfortable highway operation, consistent with the Thunderbird's original role as a personal luxury vehicle rather than a dedicated muscle car. Unlike many performance-focused cars of the era, the Thunderbird emphasized refined styling, ride quality, and premium features while still offering substantial V8 power. The exterior configuration includes Kelsey Hayes wire wheels, one of the more visually distinctive wheel options commonly associated with luxury American cars from this period. The wire wheel setup contributes significantly to the car's upscale appearance and complements the black paint and vinyl roof combination particularly well. The radial tires reportedly have fewer than 4,000 miles on them, indicating relatively recent replacement and continued road readiness. Inside, the beige interior maintains the elegant design style expected from a Thunderbird of this generation. The cabin reflects Ford's focus on comfort and premium presentation during the early 1960s, incorporating wide seating surfaces, extensive trim detailing, and a driver-oriented dashboard layout. Factory air conditioning is also included, a highly desirable feature for classic cars from this era, especially for owners intending to use the vehicle regularly in warmer climates. Modern usability improvements have been added through the installation of an upgraded AM/FM radio system with iPod connectivity. This modification allows the vehicle to retain a mostly period-correct interior appearance while providing improved audio functionality and compatibility with modern devices. Upgrades like this are often appreciated by owners who want to enjoy classic vehicles regularly without sacrificing convenience entirely. The 1962 Thunderbird occupies an important place in Ford history as part of the Bulletbird generation produced between 1961 and 1963. These models became known for their sharp body lines, jet-age styling influences, sculpted rear quarter panels, and strong emphasis on luxury-oriented driving. Compared to earlier Thunderbird generations, the third-generation cars evolved into larger and more refined grand touring vehicles intended for comfortable long-distance cruising rather than lightweight sports car handling. This particular example appears to balance originality, tasteful upgrades, and maintained mechanical condition in a way that supports continued use while preserving the overall vintage personality of the car. The rebuilt drivetrain, tri-power setup, factory air conditioning, upgraded audio system, and attractive exterior configuration all contribute to a vehicle well suited for car shows, weekend driving, and collector ownership. The vehicle is located in Hughesville, Maryland, and is currently listed for sale at an asking price of $39,500. Number 13, 1965 Ford Mustang Coupe 2D. This 1965 Ford Mustang Coupe 2D represents an affordable and solid entry into the world of classic American cars while still retaining the timeless styling and recognizable character that helped make the first-generation Mustang one of the most successful vehicles in automotive history. Finished in a bright red exterior paired with a matching red interior, the car carries the sporty appearance and compact proportions that made the Mustang instantly popular when it was introduced during the mid-1960s. Even decades later, the long hood, clean body lines, chrome trim, and classic coupe silhouette continue to give the car strong visual appeal among enthusiasts and collectors alike. According to the seller, the vehicle runs well and remains a very solid car underneath, making it a practical foundation for someone looking to own and enjoy a vintage Mustang without taking on a complete restoration project from the beginning. Power comes from a 6-cylinder engine paired with an automatic transmission, creating a combination focused more on smooth cruising and everyday drivability rather than extreme high-performance muscle car characteristics. The inline-six setup has long been appreciated for its simplicity, reliability, and lighter front-end feel compared to heavier V8-equipped Mustangs. Combined with the automatic transmission, the drivetrain provides an easy and comfortable driving experience that remains approachable for both experienced classic car owners and newcomers entering the hobby for the first time. According to the seller, the vehicle starts and runs well, making it suitable for immediate road use and summer cruising. Several important upgrades and maintenance improvements have already been completed to improve reliability and drivability compared to original factory equipment from the mid-1960s. The car is equipped with an aluminum radiator and electric cooling fan, helping improve engine cooling efficiency and temperature control during warmer weather or extended driving situations. A front disc brake conversion has also been installed, significantly improving braking performance and overall driver confidence compared to the original factory drum brake system. The seller additionally states that the heater and electrical systems are functioning properly, which can be important details on older classic vehicles where electrical issues are often common. The overall condition of the car appears to balance solid structural integrity with a few remaining cosmetic imperfections that the next owner may choose to address over time. According to the listing, the vehicle was once an award-winning car, and the seller even references a trophy shown in the photos as evidence of its past presentation quality. However, the car currently has some visible body damage around the driver's side fender area along with minor scratches and small areas of bubble rust. Rather than presenting the vehicle as perfect, the seller openly acknowledges these flaws while also emphasizing that the car remains clean underneath and structurally solid overall. This honesty provides a clearer picture of the vehicle's current condition and suggests that the Mustang could be significantly improved with cosmetic attention and minor bodywork. Additional parts are included with the sale to assist with future restoration or cosmetic improvement work. The seller states that a brand new black carpet kit remains in the box along with other repair parts intended to help address the cosmetic issues. These included components provide added value and may help reduce the cost and effort required for the next owner to continue improving the car's appearance. According to the seller, the Mustang already presents nicely but could look substantially better once the fender repairs and cosmetic refinements are completed. The vehicle currently rides on older tires that reportedly show some dry rot from sitting, although the seller notes that they still hold air. This may be one of the first maintenance items the next owner chooses to address before putting extensive miles on the car. Despite these smaller remaining needs, the seller encourages potential buyers to begin enjoying the vehicle immediately as a summer cruiser, suggesting that the car remains mechanically usable and enjoyable in its current condition. The odometer currently shows approximately 16,000 miles, and the vehicle has reportedly had more than 3 previous owners throughout its lifetime. The car is fully paid off and located near Hall Road and Van Dyke in Utica, Michigan. The seller also mentions that additional photos and running videos are available upon request for serious buyers interested in seeing more detailed documentation of the vehicle's operation and condition. Offered at an asking price of $9,200, this 1965 Ford Mustang Coupe 2D presents an opportunity to own one of America's most iconic classic cars at a relatively accessible price point. Combining vintage Mustang styling, upgraded cooling and braking components, solid structural condition, and manageable cosmetic needs, the vehicle offers a balance between immediate drivability and future improvement potential. For enthusiasts seeking a classic Mustang that can be enjoyed right away while still leaving room for personalization and restoration work over time, this coupe provides a practical and visually appealing starting point within the classic car market. Number 14. A beautifully styled 1963 Ford Galaxie that combines classic early 1960s American design with tasteful upgrades that make the car more enjoyable and dependable for modern driving. This particular Galaxie stands out because it preserves the elegant full-size Ford appearance while also benefiting from several practical improvements that enhance comfort, drivability, and reliability. Finished in the original Famoco Heritage Burgundy with a black interior, the car has the kind of vintage presentation that immediately captures attention without feeling overly modified or far removed from its original character. Power comes from a smooth-running 302 cubic-inch V8 engine paired with a C4 automatic transmission. This drivetrain combination is widely respected among Ford enthusiasts because it delivers reliable performance, simple maintenance, and comfortable cruising characteristics. The 302 engine provides a balanced mix of drivability and classic V8 sound, while remaining far easier to maintain than some larger or more complicated vintage engines. Paired with the automatic transmission, the car appears well suited for relaxed highway cruising, weekend drives, and regular collector use rather than existing solely as a showpiece. Several upgrades have been added to improve the overall driving experience and long-term dependability. The car is equipped with power steering and power brakes, making it much easier to handle compared to many older full-size classics that can feel heavy or difficult to maneuver at low speeds. A floor-mounted shifter adds a slightly sportier feel to the interior while maintaining the vintage atmosphere of the vehicle. The addition of an aluminum radiator also improves cooling efficiency, helping the car remain more reliable during warmer weather or longer drives. Recent updates include a dual master cylinder conversion, new battery, new front tires, and new front and rear bumpers, all of which contribute to making the car feel more road-ready and properly maintained. The seller describes the paint as being around a 7.5 out of 10, which suggests a strong driver quality finish that still presents very well without necessarily being a flawless concours restoration. The body reportedly shows no signs of major past damage, an important detail for a classic car of this age. Refinished in its original heritage burgundy color, the exterior keeps the authentic look and personality that helped make early 1960s Galaxies so recognizable. The chrome bumpers and long body lines further enhance the car's presence and classic American styling. Inside, the black interior is described as being in very good condition. The seller is also currently replacing the cracked padded dashboard with a new coverlay pad while addressing several other small cosmetic details. These ongoing improvements suggest the owner has continued investing time and attention into the vehicle rather than simply letting it deteriorate. The interior likely still retains the spacious and comfortable atmosphere full-size American cars from this era were known for, making the Galaxie an enjoyable cruiser for both driver and passengers. One detail that makes this car especially interesting is its identity as a 1963.5 Galaxie, a version often appreciated by Ford enthusiasts because of the styling updates and transitional features associated with that period. Cars like this represent an era when American manufacturers focused heavily on bold styling, chrome accents, and large comfortable interiors while still offering strong V8 performance. Located in Manchester, Maryland, and offered at $16,500, this Ford Galaxie appears to deliver a solid balance between originality, drivability, and value. The seller is also open to possible partial trades involving classic vehicles such as original Model A Fords, Corvettes, or IROC and Z28 Camaros, which adds additional flexibility for potential buyers. Overall, this 1963 Ford Galaxie feels like the kind of classic American cruiser that can still be enjoyed regularly while preserving the timeless character and road presence that made full-size Fords from the early 1960s so memorable. Number 15. 1973 Lincoln Continental Cartier Edition. This 1973 Lincoln Continental Cartier Edition represents the kind of full-size American luxury car that defined comfort, prestige, and road presence during the early 1970s. Vehicles like this were designed during a period when luxury manufacturers focused heavily on smooth ride quality, large displacement V8 power, and elegant styling rather than compact dimensions or fuel efficiency. The Continental lineup stood at the top of Lincoln's luxury offerings, and the Cartier Edition added an even more upscale image through exclusive trim details and premium presentation. Even today, cars like this continue to stand out because of their massive proportions, distinctive styling, and unmistakable vintage luxury character. Finished in burgundy with a tan interior, this Lincoln carries a very classic luxury color combination that fits the personality of the car extremely well. The deep burgundy exterior complements the long body lines and chrome accents that made Lincoln vehicles from this era so recognizable, while the tan interior likely creates a warm and comfortable cabin atmosphere consistent with traditional American luxury design. The overall styling reflects the era perfectly, featuring a long hood, formal roofline, and substantial body proportions that give the car a commanding presence on the road. Under the hood sits a 460 cubic inch big block V8 engine paired with an automatic transmission. The 460 engine became one of Ford Motor Company's most well-known large displacement engines and was widely respected for producing strong torque and smooth cruising power. In a vehicle like the Continental, the drivetrain was designed less for aggressive performance and more for effortless acceleration and quiet highway driving. The combination of the large V8 and automatic transmission provides the type of relaxed and comfortable driving experience luxury buyers expected from a premium American car during the early 1970s. As a Cartier Edition model, this Continental likely featured additional upscale trim and luxury appointments compared to standard versions. Lincoln used the Cartier branding to emphasize elegance and exclusivity, helping position these cars among the most prestigious domestic luxury vehicles of their time. Even decades later, the Cartier name still adds a unique level of distinction and collectability to vintage Lincoln models. The vehicle is described as having had only 2 owners, which can often be a positive sign for an older classic car. Limited ownership history sometimes suggests the car may have been maintained more consistently over time rather than frequently passed between short-term owners. The car is also fully paid off, adding further simplicity for a future buyer interested in taking on the vehicle as either a cruiser or restoration project. At an asking price of only $1,000 or best offer, this Continental appears positioned as an affordable entry point into classic American luxury car ownership. Vehicles of this size and era have become increasingly uncommon on the road today, especially examples still equipped with their original big block V8 engines. While the listing itself is brief and does not provide extensive mechanical details, the low price leaves significant room for restoration, customization, or mechanical improvements depending on the future owner's goals. Cars like this often appeal to enthusiasts who appreciate traditional American luxury vehicles with oversized proportions, soft ride quality, and unmistakable vintage styling. Unlike many modern luxury cars filled with complex electronics and compact turbocharged engines, classic Lincolns from this period focused on simplicity, comfort, and effortless cruising power. The driving experience in a large 1970s luxury coupe or sedan is completely different from modern vehicles, offering a slower, smoother, and more relaxed feel that many enthusiasts continue to enjoy. The 1973 model year also represents an interesting moment in automotive history, arriving just before major industry changes related to fuel economy regulations and downsizing began affecting large American cars later in the decade. Because of that, Vehicles like this Continental still retain the massive dimensions and traditional luxury philosophy that defined classic American motoring during its peak years. With approximately 140,000 miles shown on the odometer, this 1973 Lincoln Continental Cartier edition is located in Sims, North Carolina, and is being offered for $1,000 or best offer. The combination of Cartier luxury trim, 460 big block power, classic burgundy styling, and affordable pricing makes this car an interesting opportunity for anyone looking to own a vintage full-size American luxury vehicle with strong period-correct character and restoration potential.